My name is David Gutel, and I am a Huntington Beach High School alumni. I graduated in 2010. I went to Cal State Long Beach shortly after. Graduated in 2014 from Cal State Long Beach, and I make movies. Since graduating, I worked here for 8 years, being a part-time teacher. From there, I worked freelance in the film industry in Hollywood, being a production assistant, making my way up to being a first assistant director, which is in charge of the set and scheduling. And then most recently, my career's taken a shift where I'm actually doing what I've always wanted to do, which is directing. Sprinkled in all of that, I help direct and make the music videos for a band called Ginger Root. And now Ginger Root has gotten to a place where I go on tour with them and provide live stage visuals while the concert is happening. I learned very quickly that my high school experience was very unique when I started going out there into college and into the real world. I learned that what happens here at Huntington Beach High School is a very magical place for kids to have a safe space to be creative and to learn what it is to be creative at a young age. A lot of people, I don't think, get to experience that, because a lot of my friends that I made in college, that was their time to learn to be creative and to explore those things, and I had those things here at a younger age. What's funny is the skills that I learned here at Huntington Beach High School still follow me to this day. The live production stuff that happens here on this campus is so state-of-the-art that that knowledge has followed me into college. I was the technical director and director for the Pyramid Games. So we did the Jumbotron, we did live streaming of the sports, everything from boys and girls volleyball, boys and girls basketball, those things. I had side hustle jobs being a technical director, and just the understanding and the technical knowledge of how to set that up and what that entails has just literally followed me into even filmmaking, understanding multi-camera, understanding cameras. For all the Ginger Root music videos, we film on old broadcast cameras, and through using the broadcast cameras here, I'm comfortable with like older technology because of it. I intimately understand the technology because I grew up with it at such a young age and wrestling with it and playing with it. And what's funny is, like, when I started here, we were still doing like things on mini DV and VHS, and then that's transpired into like digital with SD cards and flash cards, and that's even gone into like cloud storage and like, you know, big servers and this and that. And because it's state of the art, literally taught me it while it was happening real time. While the industry was evolving, I was ahead of the curve. While this establishment was being upgraded. And so I'm very grateful for this place, and I'm very grateful for my experience. I don't know what I would be doing right now if it wasn't this program and my teachers, Mr. Zielinski, Mr. Napolitano, and Mr. Simmons, helping shape me into what I am now, which is I guess a director finally. Currently I'm in the middle of directing my second feature film. We are slated to start filming on Monday, which is in 2 days. I am very scared, I'm very nervous, but I'm ready to tackle it. And I will say that this program has given me the foundation to believe in myself, and has given me the foundation to believe that I can do it, because from a young age I was allowed to believe in myself and do the things here that we do. This movie, it's a independent feature film. It has a $2 million budget. Right now, with the strike happening in Hollywood, our production has been granted an interim agreement with SAG-AFTRA, so it allows us to film while the strike is happening. We're like one of maybe 120 productions that have been granted this interim agreement, and I feel very blessed. I'm very grateful. We have some of the cast from the hit show The Chosen in our movie, which is a faith-based series right now on Amazon. We're gearing up to film for 4 weeks. We're doing 2 weeks in California and 2 weeks in Texas. And after that, we'll enter post-production, and our due date's January. And we're hopefully going to have theatrical distribution by Easter of next year. I have been working on this movie for over a year now, and it's been my sole job, which is a new experience for me. I've never worked on one thing this long, and that has come with its own trials and tribulations. I wrote it, and now I'm directing it, and it's very surreal to be here where I dreamed of doing those things, and now I am doing them.
Right.
And they sent me the music, and the music's good, and so I was like, okay, I'm intrigued because the music's good. And I said to them, I will agree to do this movie if and only if I can make a movie that doesn't make you feel bad for not believing in it. And I said, I prefaced that with, I want to make a film that reminds the modern audience why the Easter story matters. Not the religious aspect of it, but the themes and values of love, forgiveness, and sacrifice. And if I can remind the audience of, like, whether you believe in this or not, there are still important inherent themes to this story that are applicable to everybody. Whether you believe in Jesus, whether you believe in this, like throughout history, throughout mankind, we have stories and we have fables and we have fairy tales that remind us of themes and values and how we treat one another. And this story and like this historical account of like what happened, there's a thing that happens where when I proposed this idea to them, they were like, okay, so like what does that look like? And I was like, well, I'd like to write a movie that has a outer story, kind of like Big Fish or like Princess Bride, that has an outer story of a modern family story of a family who's going through rough times during spring break Easter, but they're like at a family gathering at Grandma and Grandpa's house. And as the Easter story is told to the kids, Mom and Dad, who are like in the middle of like almost getting a divorce, they're reminded of the themes of love, forgiveness, and sacrifice. And they're able to, by the end of the movie, start at new beginnings for their relationship. It doesn't fix their relationship, but it reminds them of where to start over and like where to begin. And that's all intermixed with this whimsical Jesus musical that happens, and it goes in and out of the story. There's transitions, there's you know, like we have 3 child actors, we have 6 adult actors that make up the family. Grandpa has some terminal illnesses that are bringing the family together. That's why everyone's together, and we're kind of reminded of like the attributes of faith. We're reminded of forgiveness and like love and compassion. The way the story is told, so the Easter story is told in a very non-conventional way. Grandpa has this book that he wrote. It's a composition book of like an abridged version of the Easter story, where we're not just cracking open the Bible and reading it. And you learn that Grandpa wrote this book when he was at a hard time in his life, where he kind of wrote, as you could say, study Bible of the Easter story or the crucifixion. Like and when it's told to the kids in this kind of way, it's kind of the imagination of the kids, how they're imagining it as it's being told to them, because it's told in like a storybook way. You know, the way this composition book is written, it's a way to like kind of digest this really huge story in a short amount of time. Anyways, awesome. Thanks for having me. If you guys don't know what the MMAT program is, you should definitely look into it. It's inspiring and you can learn a lot. Even if you don't pursue film, you'll learn a lot of great things.